May 1st, 2025. Title of the class is Do I Trust in the Lord? Class number 830. Do I trust in the Lord? Okay, we all know that it says trust in the Lord with all thine heart. I think that's Proverbs 3. I didn't look it up, but I remember from back in the day. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart. Lean not to thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he will direct thy path. That's Proverbs 3. I should have looked up the actual verse, which I can do real quick, so that you'll have the foundation scripture. Let's see here. Trust in Proverbs 3, verse 5 through 6. Lean not to thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. I've been on that all week. Trust in the Lord. And normally, what happens is right after one of these classes, Thursday afternoon, I do whatever I'm doing and what have you, an idea will just pop in, and I'll sit down and take a few notes. But that didn't happen last week. But on Friday morning, it popped in my head. It was like trust in the Lord with all thine heart. It's like, well, do I trust in the Lord? Do I trust in the Lord with all my heart? And Alfred Lord Tennyson said, God is closer than breathing, nearer than hands and feet. Wow. So God is the inspiration behind my breathing. God is, do I trust that God is my very breath? Is God appearing as me? That's one of those kapow. That's a lot of people say a lot of things. I might say that. God is appearing as mankind, man on the face of the earth. God is appearing as man. And you look and you see somebody acting all kinds of ways, and you say, that's God appearing as a man? God is not appearing as my concept of a man. God is man. But he's not man whose breath is in his nostrils. So I said that, okay, do I trust in the Lord? Do I trust the Lord when it doesn't seem that I'm being directed where I need to go in order to resolve whatever it is that I'm dealing with? Now, God is closer than breathing, so no matter wherever I am, God is. All is well, no matter what. I don't care what I'm doing, God is right there where I am. When I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, for thou art with me. Jesus said, I'm with you always, even unto the end. Okay. Do I trust that God is with me? It's a good question. Now, John 1. And the Word became flesh and dwelt among them. Do I really trust that? First of all, let's clear up something. Most people that quote that say, and the Word becomes flesh. No, this says the Word became. So that means all of God, the Word, became all that there is. Became. That which is to be has already been. That which has been is right now. What God does is done forever. Nothing can be put to it. Nothing taken away. Everything already is. The word became. That I felt so free. Do I trust that everything has already become? Do I trust that? Oh, wow. Hebrews 4, verse 12. The word is sharper than any two-edged sword. Now let's think about it. The word became flesh. The word, what is the flesh that the word became? The Son of God in the consciousness of mankind. Do I really believe that the word of God is already embodied in the consciousness of mankind? It's already there. Do I believe that, or do I believe I got to conjure it up? Now, why is it sharper than any two-edged sword? Because it is dividing asunder, cutting the flesh away, plus cutting away, dividing asunder the soul and the spirit. What? Yeah. There's a story in the Bible. We won't have time to go into it, but it was when Elisha had promised the Shunammite lady that she was going to have a child. She was beyond childbearing years. Her husband, they would just be nice to Elisha. When he would come to town, they give him a place to eat, give him a plate, a food, what have you. I'm going to do something good for you. You're going to have a baby. And he, she's like, you ain't got to do all that. You don't have to do that. Just, I'm good. I'm glad I'm serving. I'm giving you something. No, you're going to have a baby. So then one day when they're out in the field, the husband and the baby and the son, they're out there working, and the son falls off a horse, hits his head, and died. And so this Shunammite lady is coming, and Elisha was his servant Gehazi says, "Here comes the Shunammite lady. Something don't look right." And Elisha knew exactly what was wrong. He said, "Her soul is bitter." Her soul, in the King James, it says vexed. Her soul is bitter within her. Why? Have you ever felt like bitter, you're mad, you're angry, you can't get beyond it? And now you're saying, you got to trust in the Lord with all your heart right now. But you're bitter. And the end of that story was Elisha, ended up putting his hands, laid the child flat, laid his hands on the child's hand, laid his body on the child's body, and what have you, and breathed on the child. God is closer than breathing. And the child, I think he coughed 3 times, unless I got my stories mixed up. That's why I said I don't want to go deep into it, but the child awakened. He healed the child just the same way Jesus told Lazarus to come out of the tomb, because he was not calling a flesh. He was calling the spiritual Son of God that the Word had become. And the Word is now in your heart and in your mouth, that you might hear it and you might do it. So, have I accepted that the Word has cut my fleshly, material thinking self that does not exist? Has the Word cut that away, and all that is left of me is the spiritual Son of God, which is one with God, which is the same as God? Am I trusting that that's what's there? See, have I accepted God, the Word, as my body, as my mind, as my spirit? Am I trusting that? Or am I getting sick and hoping that, He'll heal me, or I'll find somebody to heal me, or I'll pray? Where's my trust? I have another interpretation of the song that my mama and them used to sing a long time ago. I will trust in the Lord till I die. Yeah, that fleshly self, that mortal concept of myself. I'm going to trust the Lord till that disappears from my consciousness, so that there's nothing left except the spiritual Son of God, the Christ. Know ye not that Jesus Christ lives in you? All right. Here's another question. Do I really believe that except the Lord builds the house, they labor in vain that build it? Am I accepting of the fact that God has already built my house, which is my consciousness, my awareness of the truth, or am I trying to add on enough scriptures and stuff to say that I have built the consciousness? Have I accepted that the Lord has already, remember, the word has become flesh. The word became the spiritual Son of God. Spiritual flesh. We ain't talking about my concept of a mortal man, because there's no such thing. So, that's Psalm 127, verse 1. Except the Lord build a house. Whoa. He already built it. Do I believe he has already built it? Do I act like he has already built the house? Do I go all day, every day, imagining that God has built this house and I am walking in Christ, living, moving, and having my being in the Christ? When I go to the refrigerator and I go to grab something and I don't grab it quite, I don't grip it firmly and I drop it, and if it's a jar, it breaks. If it's the milk, it flies and falls down and bursts and the milk all over the place. Am I trusting that I'm still walking in the Lord, but I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing? Or do I get mad and my soul gets bitter? Do I start acting out? You come in and, oh wow, and the trash can fell over. Am I acting out? Am I realizing no matter what, wherever I am, God is? That's just something I need to lose in consciousness. What's that? I need to lose mistakes. I need to lose not quite good enough. I need to lose my hunger for getting some kind of power. Hold on a second. Okay, sorry about that. But the phone will always cut into this because it's connected into the pad. But do I really, really believe that I am walking, moving, and having my being in the Christ? Did the Lord build my house? Remember, that which is to be has already been, and that which has been is now. Do I really believe that? Do I believe that it's already worked out? Like Joe said last week, Joe Patterson. It is done. It's done already. I saw him in church on Sunday morning. He said, it's done. I said, yeah, I know. But do I really, really, really believe that? Am I acting like I believe it's done, or am I still out here trying to work it out? And only you can know. I'm talking to Michael Orr. You guys can just grab on, get in where you fit in. In Job 19, verse 25 through 27, the gist of it is, I will see God in my flesh. Now just think about it. That's Job 19. Job is not over with until 42. In other words, you got 23 more chapters of Job suffering, struggling. What was Job trying to do? He was trying to defend his actions and defend himself. And, I did all this and I did all that and what have you. He was what we call going through the slow death. Because until there is a death to the concept of self, I'll trust in the Lord till I die, The I, there's the little I, the mortal concept of who I am, and I'm trusting that that's being wiped out. Why? Because I don't need it. It's not real. God didn't create it. If God created it, it would always be there, causing problems. But it's not. And as you advance spiritually, you start to see that you that you thought you were is showing up less and less and less. And that's what's known as seeing God in your flesh. How am I seeing God in my flesh? My actions are not the same. I'm inspired to live from within. I'm seeing things just fall into place. They just fall right into place, no matter what. They didn't used to do that. I thought about it yesterday. I said, man, you know what? I've been at this since 1980. And just recently, I feel like I've gotten somewhere. But all along the way, there's been a dropping off. Like the unveiling. Getting rid of veils. Veils of mortal concepts. Just throwing them off. Here's one great veil. Every year, at a certain time of the year, March, April, May, what do they call that? Allergy season. I used to have it so bad. Eyes used to swell all up. Stars on my eyes. Nose running. Feeling like not wanting to go through the day. What happened to that? What happened to that? I started seeing God in my flesh. I started seeing God. That's not a pure in heart, for they shall see God. What is pure in heart? It means that I have no guile. Jesus said, there's a true follower of God in whom there is no guile. He was talking about one of the disciples. I think it was Philip. There is no guile in him. You know what guile means? Deceit. You know what deceit means? I'm trying to hide the fact that I don't quite believe everything. There are some things I'm holding back for myself, because you got to do some things for yourself. That's the deceit of it all. But as you have committed your heart to understanding and walking and moving and having your being in the Christ, those little things that were called deceitful, the little veils, those things that were veiling the reality of the perfection, that means completion of God in you, they're falling away. They're just falling away. So, in my flesh, do I really believe that I see God? Let's go with another one. Behold, I, the word, stand at the door and knock. And if any man, that means mankind, opens up, I will do what? My Father and I will come in and sup with it. That's Revelations chapter 3, verse 20. Do I really believe that the word of God is standing at the door of my consciousness? Because I got a human consciousness. I can't, I got it. That's there. But am I keeping it under wraps? Am I holding it down? Am I making it subject unto me? Or am I letting it just run wild? Buck wild. Just do whatever it needs to do in order to feel good. Or not quite the way I used to do it, but now I'm just, I'm hanging in there. I'm going through the rough parts of the mountain, but in the meantime, I'm trusting that God will get me out of this. I ain't got no business getting in it. I should be more on top of, I'm trusting in the Lord with all my heart. This word that's standing at the door, this word is consciousness. This word is truth. What does he say? Let us make man, humankind, in our image and in our likeness. That means to commune with. We said, do I honestly believe that the word of God is communing with my human consciousness all day, every day, when you sleep, your consciousness is still open. And so when you sleep and the consciousness is open, the word will commune with you. You will get an inspiration to move in a certain direction, to do a certain thing, to accept truth. The word God, the word, I say that twice because God is the word. In the beginning was the word. Communes with human consciousness. Now, am I bearing the fruit? When I see situations, let's see, do I love? Do I love? Am I experiencing joy? Do I need something out here to make me happy, to make me experience joy? Do I need that, or am I experiencing the joy of the Lord as my strength? That's one of the fruit. Am I at peace? I know how I'll know whether I'm at peace or not. My mind is on God all day. How is that the case? I keep looking within to see if I feel the consciousness of the presence of God all day. Yesterday, very trying. It was trying. And I found myself feeling for the presence. Feeling for the presence of God. Every time, at one point, there was about 45 minutes of frustration, struggle, but then it was like something reminded me. Do you feel the presence right now? Are you at peace? Because your job is to be at peace all day, all night. I was able to keep at perfect peace whose mind is stayed on thee. Well, how do I do that? What is the mind? What am I imagining? Love, joy, peace. Imagine being at peace. Faith, patience, meekness, kindness, goodness, self-control. Just imagine what that would feel like. And as you imagine that feeling, you are doing it. Let me say that again. As you imagine bearing the fruit, am I putting in the actions that are necessary in order to walk in line with the Spirit? Do I know truth? Am I trusting that this truth is carrying me no matter what? This truth is always carrying me. You say you love God whom you never seen, and you see your brother every day and you don't love him. 1 John 4:20. I ask myself, do I really love my brother? I don't mean Kenneth Thor, I mean all of y'all and everybody on the planet. I'm going, well, how would I know whether I love them or not? I would realize that they are the Christ. God is dwelling in them. I don't care what you are. Jesus Christ dwells in you. Am I seeing that? Guess what my answer was? Well, Rev, you got to work on that. You got to work on that. You got to start trusting that God is the only self. I say that a lot. I told y'all this would be a little bit challenging. I'm talking to Michael. I say it a lot. But I trust in him. Do I believe him? Do I believe that God is the self of everybody? And the answer is intellectually, yes, but there's a feeling that comes with, it's called conviction. When the feeling comes, it's the tree of life. It's the answer. And when you feel like, no matter what, everybody is the self. But you cannot get frustrated and angry at yourself when you see somebody do something and you say, man, no way in the world. You don't want to go. You can't just be too hard on you. You have to understand that is helping you to get rid of being judgmental. There's a difference in my job is not to judge. That sounds good, but what does your heart feel? See, Michael, you got to feel it in line with what you think. That's your conviction. So the moment I start to contemplate, I love my neighbor as myself. That's my starting point. I love my neighbor as myself. Everybody's my neighbor. And I start feeling the presence of God around that thought. That means, okay, God already did this. God already built the consciousness. God already aligned itself with this. So I am in alignment with that. Doesn't always feel real good, but I'm learning. I'm growing. I'm expanding in that truth. I am beginning to demonstrate the fact that God already is, and there's nothing I need to do about it. I just need to continue to meditate and contemplate the truths, the promises of God. Just grab any promise. I'll just grab any promise in there. And I'm just going to contemplate it by just feeling that God already made me this promise. Son, thou art ever with me, and all that is mine is yours. Now that's confusing because to the human head, it's like if God gave me everything, how does he end up for you? But then we start to understand God is indivisible. You can't divide or compartmentalize God. All of God is everywhere all the time. So all that God has, he has given to each of us. And it's up to us to contemplate that until we feel it. Now, the word, the Hebrew word, yetzer, Y-E-T-S-E-R, it means mind. It also means imagination. The word, the idea is already the Son of God in my consciousness. Now, what if I imagine everything working out for me, no matter what? Let's take it one more step. What if I imagine things are already worked out? That's why we're going to go through Lillian DeWater's book next week. All things are yours. All things are already worked out. What's my mistake? I approach it like I'm trying to work it out. I asked myself one day, why? What? It's like, why in the world am I still trying to get my music distributed or market? It's real easy now. Anybody can put a song out. Anybody can record and put it out. Jamal and I were talking about that a few minutes ago. And I said, but Jamal, I said, just think about, I said, let me let you make a guess at something. How many people are putting out music now? Putting it out, just record. Anybody can go in a laptop, in a computer, download some software, download a track that's already been put there. Some of them are free, some of them are $35. Just download that track, and then get a microphone, sing on top of it, rap on top of it, and what have you. And the next thing you know, do what? Put it on YouTube, go to iTunes, go to Spotify. There are a lot of streaming platforms. All you gotta do is just put your music there. Anybody can do that. Anybody in this class can do that. I said, Jamal, how many people do you think are not successful that are doing that? I said, how many people you think are putting music out? I said, you think thousands of people are doing it? He said, yep. Thousands. Can y'all imagine that? Thousands of people putting songs out. Streaming platforms. I said, how many of them do you think, Jamal, or how many of them are not successful as far as what they consider success to be? You know, like I got sales. I'm being invited to come out and sing. People want my music. And then, how many people are not experiencing that? Guess what his answer was? Most of them. Most are not being successful, even though it has been made easier to get a song out. You don't need record companies. You don't need radio. You don't need any of that. You just put your music out there on a streaming platform and boom. But most people are not being successful at it. Why? Why aren't they being successful? There is no conviction standing behind it to know that God has already done this. I'm in alignment with it. So therefore, I'm just following through the ideas that are flowing in me. And that's why I posted on the Facebook, Jamal, I love you, man. I was using my Ike Turner voice. I love you, man. Let's go over to the lab and cut some hits, anime. Come on, let's cut a hit, anime. You know, why? Because it's done already. It's already said. It's already etched in consciousness, in stone, in Petros, Petros, the rock, the thought, the promise, Petra, the feeling. Those two in alignment, male, female, positive, negative. They create one, not two. One way. It is finished. It is done. Now, I said all that, and I know them well. What happened in y'all's head was you imagine stuff being done. It's already done. You imagined it done. You couldn't help it because I made it really clear, and you could see it. Now, if you stay with that, and when it comes back to you over and over again, and you say, why is this coming back to me over and over again? Oh, I know. I'm supposed to feel this because I'm praying. My feeling is answered prayer. My feeling is the conviction. The conviction is the prayer. The conviction is the answered prayer. And I am supporting this because it's opening up my love for mankind. I love my neighbor as myself. That's what I'm saying. I'm imagining the Son of God alive in each one of you and inspiring you to do that which you have been troubled having to try to bring it into your everyday earthly experience. In other words, I see God in your flesh. I see God in your body. I see God as the only self. And that means I love you as I love myself. Now, on Saturday morning, I woke up. I had just read from Walter Lanyon about this. He and this guy was struggling with something. And he said, I know I'm going to shed my blood on the cross for you. And the guy said, you know, that is the absolute perfect way to pray. And when I woke up, well, let me end that story. The guy received a complete healing because Walter Lanyon, in his own imagination, went on a cross, shed his blood. Blood means life. And so he poured his life into an image that he had of his friend. He communed with him within himself. He didn't call the friend up. He just communed with it. And he just felt the presence of God. And the man received a complete healing. I woke up on Saturday morning after I had read that. And I heard the little voice say, I shed my blood on the cross for you. I poured life into my image of you. I crossed out all evil in my consciousness. you can't fail because there's no such thing. We have the mind of Christ. I heard that just as clearly as a baby. It was like, bing. I'm like, whoa. Jesus Christ in you says, hey, I already poured my life. I shed my blood for you, Mike. I'm going to carry you on into the completion of that which began years ago. See, we have that mind of Christ. We have the mind of Christ. The mind of Christ does not have any evil in it. The mind of Christ does not have failure, does not have sin, sickness, disease, has none of that. Does not have any poverty and lack in it. And the mind of Christ already has imagined itself as the success that it desired. The effect of righteousness is peace. That means I'm thinking right, I'm acting right, I'm talking right. The only reason for meditation is what? Peace. That's the only reason for meditation. Peace. Peace is the healer, the feeling of an assured outcome, answered prayer. Every time I go within and feel the presence of God, I feel that peace. That peace means it has healed. It's pouring life into my consciousness, and it's doing what? The sword of the Spirit, sharper than any two-edged sword, the word. It's separating that which does not help, which does not bring forth the good that's there, that's trying to come forth. It's shutting out that which is blocking that word which stands at the door and knock. Okay. Now, yesterday, I went to, you guys know how much of a sweet tooth I have. I can't help it. And I go down to the Dollar Tree, and I go and I get little bags of Reese's and other little candies. I get Mr. Goodbar. They cost $1.25 a bag. And that way I just buy like 4 or 5 little bags of different Twix, not Twix, what's the other one? Break me off a piece, Kit Kat. So I get those. And sometimes I get the Hershey's white chocolate. But I got another thing. And when I got in line, and I was, clowning around. This lady was behind me, and she was dancing because they were playing that song, Don't You Stop It, Don't You Stop, Don't Stop the Music. And we bopping and dancing, in the line, getting ready to pay. And the cashier behind is looking up, the cashier looking at us, smiling and laughing, and everybody's like, how you doing? It's like it was a good day. It was just wonderful. Because I had started out that morning saying, you know what, I'm going to imagine myself. I want y'all to get this. I'm going to imagine myself. This is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. I'm making my day all along the way. So I'm in there bopping to the music, and this lady said, oh, wow, yeah, isn't that? I said, yeah, that was by Yarborough and Peoples. I said, that was a tremendous song. Don't stop the music. And we're just going. So then the lady said, will you need a bag? I said, no. I said, I got a bag. She rang up my stuff. I paid. She said, that'll be $6.63. And I said, oh, wow. I said, that's the third time I've come in here, and I bought stuff, and it came to $6.63, $6.63. And the lady said, you mean you've done this the one behind me that was dancing, you've done this 3 times? I said, yep. She said, well, if I were you, I'd go play that number. I said, nah, I ain't gonna play no number. I said, you know what I do? She said, what? I said, this might sound crazy to you. I said, but I just remember what 663 is in the Bible. I go look up John 6:63. I said, And when I look up John 6:63, it's the same thing all the time. The flesh profits nothing. It's the spirit that quickens, that gives life. The words I speak, they are spirit and they are life. You know, this morning I said, this is the day the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad. Now here I am rejoicing and I'm glad in it and having a good time. Now here's 663 saying, speak the word. So then I said, oh wow. This is, what am I going to say next? And I didn't say anything. And I left the store. When I got to my car, and I got ready to open the car to get in, a little voice said to me, make a wish. I said, oh wow, make a wish. I said, that's lily in the water. Make a wish. That's in all things are yours. And I said, oh wow, man. I said, I did that a long time ago. Ain't nothing never really happened. Something said back to me, yeah, but you quit abiding in the idea that you are making your way. You quit abiding. You got out of the idea. You went back to trying to call people that you knew to try to help you out, to try to work out this, try to work out that. But all you had to do was abide in me, and my word abide in you. That's over in the 15th chapter of John. Ask what you will. Make a wish. Ask what you will. Do I really believe that this works? No, better than that. Do I believe that this has worked already? Do I believe that? I came home, I was sitting there thinking about it, and I looked, and right down by my pad, where we're sitting right now, I had left the little book, All Things Are Yours. My book is really, I've lost the covers off of it. It came loose. I've taken a stapler and stapled it back. Do y'all realize that this little book has been laying down here beside my pad since, oh man, it's over 6 months. Just been laying here because I had it one day and I just laid it down. And I said, oh wow. I picked it up and I said, make a wish. It was like, not like making a wish like something that you wish you had, but make the wish like it's already yours. Like you're a king. That wish is you commanding something. You just said, I'm going to enjoy today. And you did. Now, you're making a wish for some of the things that you want. Go ahead and do it. So I said, okay. Speak the word only. The word is the commander. The idea is the subject. It's the substance. It commands with conviction. You command the idea. How do I do that? By vision. We're going to get into all of that next week again because I'm back on track again. The idea, I want y'all to get the idea and the manifestation of the idea are one unit. They're conviction. They're one. There's no difference. You don't have an idea and then one day next week sometime it's going to become something. You're out here again. You're out in the open space trying to find out how to get it to work. But when you recognize that the thing that you desire has already happened, because it's like you stepped in a mirror and you saw the image. And just because you walked away does not mean that the image is not there. Because every time you step in front of that image, that mirror, you're going to get the image. You put a flower in front of it, you're going to get the image. I don't care what you do. Always. Well, again, it's going to reflect back to you that you are the owner of all things. Now, I want to read to you a little bit. I scratched a couple of things down. We started a little late, so I'm going to go about 10 more minutes. It says, being one with the whole, the spiritual individual self is omnipresent and omnipotent. That means all presence and all power. It is by right vision, perception, and understanding that this self is revealed to sense and sight. It is revealed to your sense and to your sight because it is omnipresent and it is omniscient and it is omnipotent. Apprehending the great truth that spiritual reality is scientific fact. The next step is to make the fact profitable and practical. It is the utilization of good which delivers its abundance to earth. Spiritual ideas then dramatize themselves, meeting every human need. It is as one perceives this is very important, the coincidence of idea and manifestation that one may claim and declare all things are made. Now, coincidence means what? It means two things happening simultaneously. It does not mean a look at it. Somebody says, oh, this is just by coincidence. No. Coincidence means it is the idea and its manifestation happen simultaneously. The moment you have the idea to do music and market your music and have it accepted all around the world, that happens right along with the idea. It happened right. There's only now. There is no next week. Right thoughts are right things, and right things are right thoughts for the reason that they are indivisible and inseparable. They are a unit. All so-called material things are nothing in themselves, since they are perishable and subject to change. In other words, if you have an apple and the apple rots and disintegrates, do apples still exist? Yes, because they are ideas. Okay. So, it is right and divinely permissible to have everything in the drama world, even as Jesus declared, and their nothingness is not their offense, but rather is it their charm. One's power of demonstration rests upon the basis of his God idea. If he is advancing spirit work, one's idea of God undergoes a constant improvement and, is that word, transformation. For this reason, it is impossible to give a final form or a way of treatment and healing. Progressing from blind faith in a personal God to an understanding faith that God is impersonal and omnipresent, one changes his manner of treatment correspondingly. And when inspiration and illumination open the mind, one perceives that he himself is the truth. And that all form creation is the multiplication of divine ideas. It is because perfect being and a perfect universe are already established in essence and in form that it is impossible to reach a fixed method as a means of demonstration. There will always be a different way, but it will always be the same process. You will always be visioning an idea, and that idea already has a body. There's no incompleteness in God. In proportion as a veil of ignorance is stripped from one's vision, does one bring to sense and sight the perfect form creation which is now before him. You know exactly what something looks like when you say, this is mine, this is what I want, this is what I desire. Do you believe that? That's what's important. Do I believe that the thing that I desire already exists? And so therefore, as I realize it is an idea and it has a bodily form already, all I need to do is make a wish for it. And I wish it as though I'm a king or a queen. I command this thing to be. I command it to present itself to my sense of sight, to my hearing. I don't care what it is. It comes into my experience because I wished, which was the solution.